Okay, let's talk about it. You've probably seen the headlines, right? You've definitely heard the buzz. We are diving deep into one of the most talked about medications out there right now, Mounjaro.
I mean, people are calling this thing a revolution, a total game changer for weight loss. But with all that hype, it's easy to get lost in the noise, you know? So let's get to the real question everyone's asking. Is this the real deal? And maybe even more important, could it be right for you?
That's exactly what we're going to do here. We are going to cut through all that noise and give you a straight-up, practical guide. We'll break down what you really need to know before you even think about considering it, all based on solid info from UC Health today. So let's jump right in.
All right, first things first. What actually makes this drug so different from the others? Well, it all boils down to how it works. We're talking about a totally unique mechanism, a whole new approach for this class of medication.
Okay, so to really get Mounjaro, we have to understand this one simple idea, a receptor agonist. Don't let the name scare you. Think of it like a key. Your body has all these locks, or receptors, on its cells. An agonist is the key that fits into that lock, turns it, and basically tells the cell's engine to fire up and get to work.
And this is where Mounjaro stands out. You see, other drugs you've heard of, like Ozempic and Wegovy, they're single agonists. They have just one key, called GLP-1, that turns on one engine in your body. But Mounjaro, well, it's a dual agonist. It's in a whole new class because it has two keys. It activates that same GLP-1 receptor and another one called GIP. So instead of turning on one engine, it's firing up two at the same time. That's the big deal right there.
And that dual action, that's the secret sauce for the weight loss. By firing up both of those hormone receptors, the drug basically tells your brain, hey, we're not hungry. It suppresses those appetite signals. On top of that, it slows down how fast your stomach empties. What does that mean for you? You feel full way faster, and you stay full for a lot longer. So yeah, the takeaway is simple. It's a two-pronged attack on hunger.
So that's the science behind it. Pretty cool, right? But what does that mean in the real world? What are the results? Let's get into the numbers from the clinical trials, because this is what's behind all the buzz.
Get ready for this number, 21%. Just let that sink in for a second. In the world of weight loss, that is an absolutely massive number. I mean, it's the kind of result that makes the entire medical community stop and say, whoa, what is going on here?
So what is that 21%? That was the average body weight loss for people who were taking the highest dose during the clinical trials. And to put that into perspective for you, we're talking about results that, up until now, you really only saw with something as drastic as bariatric surgery. It's a huge leap forward.
And it's not just me saying it. Dr. Cecilia Lo Wang, who's an expert at UC Health, she put it perfectly. She said the results were, and I quote, dramatic and exciting. That really just drives home how powerful this dual action approach truly is.
Okay, so the results are undeniably impressive. But, and this is a big but, this is where we need to get really practical, because powerful results almost always come with powerful considerations. So let's shift gears and start weighing the pros and the cons.
This is the point where you really have to ask yourself, what's the trade-off? The upside is pretty clear, but what's the catch? What does it actually mean to take this medication day in and day out in the real world? So here it is, your Mounjaro checklist. 5 critical things you absolutely have to think about. Number 1, this is probably a lifelong commitment. 2, the cost. It can be incredibly high. 3, insurance hurdles. Just getting it covered can be a battle. 4, the side effects, and they are common. And finally, number 5, the long-term risks are still a bit of a question mark because the drug is so new. Let's dig into a few of these a little deeper. Let's start with the side effects. Look, the most common ones are no fun. We're talking about gastrointestinal stuff, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, stomach pain. But there's something even more important here, and that's the official FDA warning. In animal studies, the drug caused thyroid tumors in rats. Now, it's unknown if it does the same thing in humans, but that is a risk you absolutely 100% need to talk about with your doctor. And here's another really crucial point to wrap your head around. This is not a quick fix. It's not something you take for a few months and you're done. Studies on similar drugs have shown that when you stop taking it, guess what? The weight often comes right back. So you have to go into this knowing it's a long-term commitment, potentially for life. So, okay, we've talked about the amazing science, the incredible results, but also the very real downsides and things you have to consider. How in the world you put all that together and decide if this is the right path for you? If you and your doctor do decide to move forward, there are definitely ways to manage those side effects. Experts say you should absolutely start on the lowest possible dose for about 4 weeks. Give your body time to get used to it. And you've got to listen to your body. Pay really close attention to when you feel full. Oh, and avoiding rich, super fatty foods, that can make a huge difference with those stomach issues.
So what's the bottom line here? Look, Mounjaro is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's not a miracle drug. It's not a magic wand. It's a serious medication with very real benefits, but also very real risks. The only right choice is the one that's personal to you, and it has to be made with a doctor you trust, someone who really gets your health situation.
So it really comes down to this. Is a lifelong medication the right path for your health journey, or is a different path better for you? The single most important thing to take away from all this is that your next step isn't trying to get a prescription. It's having a smart, informed, and really honest conversation with your doctor. That's the real next step. Thanks for tuning in.